Lions low down, we bring the low down, we bring the low down, we bring the low down.
G'day Lions fans, Ash here, and welcome to a VFL report for our round 7 match against the Kangaroos at Arden Street Oval, which was played yesterday, Saturday. At the time of recording, that was yesterday. So yeah, the boys had a pretty convincing 27-point win over the Kangaroos on the road, extending their winning streak to 4 games. So featuring 3 debutants in the team this week, they dominated from start to finish, scoring 13-14-92 to 9-11-65 for the Roos. And at one stage in the first quarter and parts of the second, it looked as though the behind side of the ledger for both teams might have been a lot worse than what it ended up. So for our boys to get 13-14 was pretty good considering how it was looking at one stage. And watching it on TV, unfortunately I couldn't go because my daughter and I both come down with colds this weekend, so my voice is a bit husky as well, probably. It sounds weird anyway, normally, but probably even worse now. But yeah, we couldn't go to the game, unfortunately. It was just a bit risky to head out of the house and risk spreading our germs to other people and whatnot, so we stayed home. So I had to watch it on TV. It was a bit of a journey to get all that to work on my smart TV, but eventually it sort of all came together. Let me tell you, I was cursing the AFL for a fair bit until it all worked out. And also, I just want to say the commentators were really good yesterday. I forget their names, but no carrying on, no making it about themselves, no constant references to their favourite local footy club or Collingwood or whatever AFL club they barrack for. Really good, clear, sharp, called the play as it happened, fair and honest to both teams. So really good. Let's hope we get those guys a lot more often. So yeah, we look on TV. Look, as I was sort of saying, it looked like there was a really big wind at both ends. Some kicks for goal from players on both teams just were terrible. Commentators are saying there wasn't a breeze at all. It just was bad kicking, and we'll run with that. If anyone was there and wants to tell me otherwise, by all means, do so. So Jake Fazeldine, who was on debut, he's Lions Academy product. He had a big impact. He kicked 3 goals. Fellow Academy forward Fergus McFadden, who was a hero a couple of weeks ago, and AFL listed Will McLaughlin and Reece Torrent each kicked 2 goals as well. So early on, the Lions took an early lead with Torrent breaking the deadlock after 11 minutes of wasted opportunities from both teams. Fazeldine's first goal and another from Darcy Craven helped the Lions get to a 12-point lead at quarter time. And in the second quarter, Fazeldine kicked his second goal, but North Melbourne fought back with 2 quick goals of their own. Ty Gallup's goal and a couple of behinds put the Lions lead out to 15 points at half-time. Just watching the game, just the general pattern of the game looked like it was a lot more than 15 points. If you couldn't see the scoreboard and you were just sort of going on feel, it's just how it felt. I felt that Brisbane had order running, just looked that class above North Melbourne. And interestingly, so North Melbourne had 14 AFL listed players in their team, and a lot of guys who have recently played in their AFL team and are pretty well-known handy players. I mean, Will Phillips was a pick 3 in the draft. Griffin Logues played a lot of football at senior level. And there's a few other guys whose names I can't remember. Cooper Harvey had an absolute shocker of a game for the Kangaroos. Father-son player, son of Brent Harvey, the games leading record holder for the Kangaroos. But yeah, look, Cooper hasn't really lived up to his dad's reputation, and that's life. That's fine. His dad played 427 games of football for a reason, and probably could have played about another 50 or 60 more. And not everybody's going to be that good. So, third quarter, Lions dominated very comprehensively, banging on 6-2, and opened up to a 42-point lead at one point. Torrent's second goal sparked the onslaught early on, and McFadden and McLaughlin added a couple as well between them. So, yeah, McLaughlin I thought was a bit quiet early. He had a couple of shots that didn't quite pan out for him. And look, I said in the last AFL episode that I felt that not getting enough game time at AFL level and to sort of, playing probably 10 minutes of footy in the last few weeks has had the wrong effect on him. And it looked like that early, but he did come good later on. The final quarter, North Melbourne made a big comeback. They threatened to possibly chase the Lions, score down, but never really sort of got there. They kicked 4 goals in a row, and I think they might have got it down to just under 20 points at one stage. But, Ben Thomas steadied the ship with a goal to seal the win and secured the Lions' 5th victory of the 2025 season. So I haven't got the ladder in front of me, and I probably should have a look. I'm just going to whip it up, and I'm just going to ad-lib a bit and talk a bit of rubbish while looking for that. So, yeah, look, Luke Beacon had a really strong game, as he generally does. Really sort of just controlled the game across half-back. Got 30 touches, 9 marks, 2 clearances. Looks AFL ready. And the commentators mentioned that he's played a lot of State League footy with Woodville West Torrens, I believe, and they said that he played state footy at junior level. It was actually at senior level. It was a couple of weeks he played against Western Australia just before we picked him up in the mid-season draft. So when was that? Last year, I think. So, yeah, can't find a VFL ladder. So just going to scroll through the app, and we are currently on a bye. So, here we go. On to the next round, I'll have a look. So we're currently 3rd on the VFL ladder. So that's pretty good. North Melbourne have dropped to 9th. They were above us on the ladder prior to this game. So there you go. Well done to the boys. Up to 3rd. We play the second place team next time we play, so there's a bit of an opportunity there. So Zane Zakostelski had a really strong game, playing in the ruck, sharing it with Ty Gallop, and that was just because of the fact that Darcy Fort's in the seniors, Sam Day's injured, Henry Smith's injured, and Brandon Ryan is injured as well, and Oscar McInerney obviously is not playing VFL because he's one of the best ruckmen in the AFL. So yeah, that left Zane Zakostelski and Ty Gallop to wax in the ruck there, and Zane did really well. He got 16 headouts, 5 clearances, and for those who aren't aware, which it seems there are a few, and that's fine, because he was drafted technically as a defender, but he actually played a lot of his Colts footy at Claremont in the ruck, and club footy when he wasn't playing at Claremont. He was in the ruck as well, so he's got some background in that area and looked to really relish that opportunity to get out there and have a run around the ground and get from contest to contest, which he did really well. And his form over the last couple of weeks has been really good, and he's another guy putting himself in line for a senior call-up should a defensive role open up. I mean, you've got to look at it. Yeah, Zakostelski now in form. You got Beacon playing great footy every week. You got Tom Duday, who was best on ground in the previous game, was rested for this one, looking pretty good. You got Kitty Coleman getting his way back to form and to fitness and so forth. So yeah, look, there's going to be some pressure on the AFL guys, but they're performing really well at the moment themselves. So if I was them, I wouldn't be too stressed, but keep yourself fit and keep yourself informed, because there are boys bashing the door down, unlike in other parts of the ground. And speaking of defenders looking to get themselves back into the AFL lineup, and I did mention him already, Kadeem Coleman. He contributed 15 touches from half back, worked his way into the game as it went on. Oh, look, my personal feeling is that his best footy was in the last quarter when North were mounting that last quarter challenge. Look, I don't think he's ready for the AFL team just yet, but definitely if he keeps going, he keeps getting his match fitness up and putting in some good performances, there, I guess, lies a selection challenge there. Can't really. I mean, look, Dane Zorko's in career best form still, and again, whichever way you want to look at it, Noah Ainsworth career best form. They're the two sort of smaller defenders. Yeah, can't really see a spot for him at the moment. But look, something will come up at some point. I mean, Dane Zorko's not going to play forever. He's not going to play every game ever. He's getting on a bit in years, and he can also play in a lot of more other positions as well, whereas Coleman's absolutely one of the best half-backers in the comp, in my opinion. Hopefully you'll agree with me on that. So, yeah, look, of a couple of the other AFL guys, and there wasn't a lot in the team for obvious and various reasons that we don't need to go into because we all know what they are. Devon Robertson led the midfield possession-wise with 20. He took 6 marks, 4 tackles, 5 clearances. Looked to have really cleaned up his disposal as well yesterday, which is a really good thing. That's probably the one knock the selectors may or may not have on him. I've heard a few stories to that effect from good sources. And yeah, Reece Torrent, who I've mentioned a couple of times already, and Jimmy Tunstall sort of worked along steadily beside him without really being super dangerous or saying to the AFL selectors, hey, pick me on this performance. It's going to be really hard for those guys to get themselves into the starting lineup for the AFL team. Possibly we could see Torrent or Tunstall have a crack as a sub at some point, Tunstall again and Torrent for the first time. So let's keep an eye on those guys. And other than that, the Lions have got a bye in round 8 next week, and then they face Box Hill in round 9 at Box Hill City Oval on the 24th of May. And that is the same day as the AFL game, which is at the MCG at 4:15 that same afternoon. So the game for the VFL, I think, starts at 11:05. So there should be adequate time to see both this game and the AFL if you sort of plan your transport side of things right. I think there's a train line train station not far from the Box Hill City Oval. You could go to either Mitcham or Box Hill Central, I think it's called, mate. It's at the Box Hill Central Shopping Centre, I think. Either way, they're both sort of equal distance from the Oval, so you could, I guess, catch an Uber to the train stations, or you could just drive out there in your car, park up somewhere nearby and jump on the train at Box Hill or Mitcham and catch that into the MCG, wherever you're getting off of Richmond or Jollymont stations, either one. I'm not sure on the parking situation at the MCG on the day, but it's generally patchy. It's not always available, and I never rely on it. I generally will park sort of somewhere in Flinders Street at one of the, at the risk of promoting a company that don't sponsor our podcast, one of the Wilson parking centres, and Wilson Parking did look after me while I was in Adelaide for Gavarand as well, so thanks to them. If anyone from Wilson's listening, chuck us a few bucks and we'll give you some more mentions. We are totally open to cash for comment. So I guess you could sort of, you think the game probably finishes about 2-ish, roughly. Yeah, it gives you sort of 2 hours to get to the MCG, get in and be ready on time, grab some lunch on the way. Plenty of really good eateries around Box Hill and Mitcham, but probably more so Box Hill, especially if you like eating Asian food, which I do love. Absolutely one of my favourite types of food. So I'll probably grab some, I don't know, what am I going to grab? Maybe some noodles or something. I do love a Singapore noodle. or a hockey noodle as well. So yeah, you're probably all rolling your eyes saying, who cares what he likes to eat? But I'm just giving you suggestions on some possibilities out there. And there's some good cafes and sandwich bars and eateries in Mitcham as well. So, all right, that'll do the episode of the AFL review of the game against North Melbourne at Ninja Stadium. Stay posted because there's some availability issues for both Al and myself. We'll have to try and figure something out to get that out as quick as we can. It may be later in the week, or it might be a really quick one straight after the game tonight. We'll figure that out. Anyway, as I always say, go Lions, support independent footy media, and I will see you when I see you. Cheers, guys.
Lions low down, we bring the low down, we bring